So Concealed Hill might be pretty good for Orc versus Undead. We've got things started. XlorD versus Cooper. Let's jump into it. Map number 1. Santa Lama thinks 60 seconds is enough of a delay for fair RTS games. Why not just do 1 or 2 minutes? What about when someone pauses to scratch their nose? Oh, we cannot zoom out. The zoom has to be done before. Okay. You have to do the proper zoom level before. That's okay. We'll just play on standard zoom. Yeah, you could pause and the delay can catch up. And there's also the fact that a town hall can take like 2 minutes. So you can know when someone expanded if you're cheating. A minute after they did and a minute before it finishes. So let's just move right past your layman's opinion of whether 1 minute delay is enough. 3 minutes is decided and 3 minutes is good. So we have things started on Concealed Hill. The big question is, do we see Farseer or Blade Master? Now Blade is probably likely because Cooper is a de facto Blade Master player. Especially when everyone was playing Farseer, even he was still playing Blade Master. Even against Human, where Farseer is the accepted meta. Now, XlorD had a period of time where he was playing a lot of XlorD expansion. We may remember WGL Spring, or Summer, where XlorD played on the Chinese server, the global championship that was played online because of the current health status of the world, right? And he was playing a lot of XlorD there, and technically it looked like he was able to beat the top 3 Orc there, fly 100%. But because of the stream delay, I do think it was going a little worse for him. He did end up losing 2-1, but he could have easily won 2-0 in my professional opinion. So I really thought he's going to keep going XlorD. But there have been a few balance changes for the XlorD. He's still good though. It seems more preference-based that XlorD moved away from XlorD against Undead. He's fully Death Knight first now. So we have the very classical, most meta Death Knight versus Blade Master. So we have the coil creeping here, with XlorD going on the Ogre Warrior. And we have likewise Cooper going on his Ogre Warrior. Cooper finds a Claws of Attack +5. That's a balance changed item, used to be +6. Still a really solid item and a top 2 drop for a Blade Master. We have XlorD going for the Circlet. That's probably the best item you can get. Nice item for him to start things off with. A double coil creeping in order to keep going quickly onto the map and taking his next camp. XlorD is going with a 1 Fiend, with a 0 Fiend tech into a Fiend. Then we're probably gonna have a Ziggurat coming up. And then maybe a Nerubian Tower as well. Cooper is going for a non-speed scroll Windwalk across the map. He Windwalks into the shop, gets Circlet. And I gotta wonder, did XlorD see him by the Circlet? Maybe yes, maybe no. Either way, he wouldn't be on time to steal the Troll Priest that Cooper now gets for his level 4. And Cooper is too smart to try and greed for the Ogre Mage. He knows this is gonna bring Death Knight to call, because XlorD cannot afford to give the Ogre Mage away, so he has to check there. Cooper is experienced with this route. He wanted the level 4 for a level 2 Blade Master, and he also knew it would bring the DK, and he was ready to put a few hits on the DK to lower his health. XlorD, however, is already level 2 Death Knight, so he's got Unholy Aura that gives bonus hit point regeneration. So whatever damage he takes, it's not that hard for him to out-heal.
Greetings, friend.
XlorD is really good at blocking grunts in when they get low, trying to chase them and finish them off with his Death Knight. Cooper, meanwhile, with one of the weirdest bases I've seen, burrow in front of his Great Hall, one to the side, and completely open, seemingly. Could be a nasty choke here with Fiends attacking and Orcs stuck on the other side with a largely melee army, but he's got to have some kind of plan. No Nerubian Tower for XlorD. Cooper gratefully makes a little bit of use of that by trying to put damage on the Acolyte, but ultimately XlorD doesn't have large goals outside of getting DK2, which he already has. DK3 is nice, but it's a luxury. So he's at home there, standing on Blight, getting bonus healing from Blight and from Unholy, and that is quite okay for him. Cooper's Blade is very healthy. He's now using several grunts to get level 2.5 Blade Master on the left side. Bestiary comes out, Shadow. There are several different build orders for both players, for both races. You can go straight to tier 3, into Lich, into Slaughterhouse, into Third Ziggurat, or you can go Lich at tier 2, then go to tier 3. Likewise for Orc, they can go straight to tier 3. Wait, who's gonna get this creep? Oh, what? The Blade Master got it! He tried to coil, last hit the Ogre Mage, but he let it drop too low. Coil never got cast as Blade Master last hit. Claws of Attack coming in a little bit nicely. So Blade Master gets a lot of experience from that. That's a level 5 creep. That gives, I don't know, something like 80, 90 XP. XlorD went for a Lich into Slaughterhouse and now the Third Ziggurat. So Lich comes out early. Hasn't picked his ability yet. Don't know if it's going to be Frost Armor or Nova. We have the Shadow Hunter coming here. What is he looking to do? The Goblin Shop is gone. He just healed up his grunts. And now he's gonna do what? Green Camp? Creepjack? He wants to stop the Ogre by XlorD. Now, there's a very defensive location here when you fight over the Ogre. That's why you have to come around the other side. Shadow Hunter standing in position to try and hex the Death Knight to prevent the Coil last hit. Who is gonna get this? Coil Nova? Hex on the Death Knight. We have the item. Ward Song Battle Drums going to XlorD. That's very good. 10% bonus damage on everything. And XlorD uses a Nova first pick for Lich to do a double nuke on the Ogre Lord, securing the experience. Cooper wasted a lot of time on the Shadow Hunter, not creeping up on the Green Camp or anything else. 0 XP on the Lich. On the Shadow Hunter. The Lich getting 76 XP. It should be noted though that XlorD's Death Knight lost this 76 or 72 XP or so that he would have gotten. Because Death Knight was hexed during the Ogre Lord's death, half the XP was denied. So XlorD Shadow Hunter did achieve something, but it wasn't great. He didn't get the item, he didn't get the steal. Well managed by XlorD, who has his first Slaughterhouse out now. Burrow coming, and a Coil last hit on the Ogre, on the Null Overseer. He gets Ring of Regeneration. DK2, Lich 2. Blade level 3 scouting. Windwalk about to run out. The Shadow Hunter here gets level 2 in a bit. As tier 3 is finished, TC is started. We have 3 grunts and a raider, a Warmill, and the TC. Is that going to be a totem? That's a very early Torrent Totem. I saw this from Cooper. He likes to go for Torrent Totem very, very, very quickly. And I don't know if you guys saw my Orc versus Undead games yesterday. I've started a new style where I make more units before TC that can allow for much better aggression and defense against aggression. But it seems like XlorD is more the creeping, expanding type, and Happy is the more aggressive player. So it depends who you're facing. Whether that would be good or not. But Cooper is in completely the opposite direction. Just 3 grunts and a raider, not even a Kodo Beast. Then TC, then Totem, and then finally a Kodo Beast. Now, is Blade Master going to be able to steal this? No, he is dusted. He should be very careful. Coil Nova. And XlorD secures his own item. Wand of Mana Stealing, not bad. Can leave a nasty mark. When you steal mana from the Shadow, you silence stuff and you Coil Nova, can be very risky. There we go with the Dark Ranger. Going for silence as well. The first map of the tournament, guys. XlorD versus Cooper. Already going in a classic way. Do we have Destroyer upgrade yet? I don't think so. We already have Temple of the Damned. Very early Banshees by XlorD. Wants to neuter the damage output of that Blade Master most of all with Curse. Shadow nearly level 3, he will get it here. TC is going to be level 1.5. First Walker comes out. The great thing about Walkers against Banshees, if they want to remove your Spirit Link, they're also removing the Curse. with destroyers. There might not be any destroyers at all, and that makes walkers extra valuable. It's going to be a Tome of Knowledge, half a circlet, doesn't cost inventory. Great tome for XlorD. He's now triple hero focusing the Drake, passing Orb of Corruption for a little bit to the Death Knight. And what item is it going to be? The Lich. The Death Knight gets it from the Lich. Sobi Mask, great item for Death Knight. Tome of Agility for the Blade Master. What item does he get here? Claws of Attack plus 9. That's a fabulous item for Blade, but remember, Frost Armor reduces your damage by 53%, if not 58%. And then Curse reduces it by another 33%, and it stacks. So, while Claws of Attack are great on Blade, there are some problems with it. You want to have that Orb of Corruption proc away the Frost Armor, which is of course completely RNG. Then it's going to be great damage. Speed scrolling. Blade Master going for the Obsidian Statue immediately. Gets a Purge proc. Frost Armor there to reduce his damage. Crit goes through anyway, through the Curse. No misses yet on the Blade Master. 0 misses. There we go. The 5th hit is a miss, but he gets that statue already. Meanwhile, Focus Fire by XlorD on the Headhunters. Nice War Stomp. A Kodo gets a Fiend as well. Full Kodo on a full Fiend. Burrow here. Is there any Dust of Appearance? There is, but Cooper hasn't noticed it yet. A Raider goes down. Headhunter getting Focus Fired. There's no Black Arrows yet for the Dark Ranger, so no Skeletons. Another Burrow here. Dust gets used, focusing on the Fiend. XlorD TP's out, but loses the Fiend anyway. Great fight for Cooper. XlorD attacking there like nobody's business. Now retroactively looking like a mistake. He got the dragon, and it was only natural for him to launch an attack. After all, walking from the dragon to the other dragon is sure to leave you creepjacked. It just makes sense. You attack. If you win, then you can actually pull back and take the dragon. But now, the worst thing happened for XlorD. His Acolyte is in position to expand already. XlorD loves expanding against Orc. His Acolyte is right there, ready for it. Cooper checking. I think he's done his homework. I don't think this is just a routine check. He knows this about XlorD. 50 food versus 50 food. How are the upgrades? 0-0. Not working on any yet. How about XlorD? He's at 0-0, not working on any. Makes sense, right? Both players have diversified their units by a lot. Some Banshees, some Statues, and some Fiends. Whereas for Orc, Headhunter, Raider, Grunt, Kodo, Walker. There are a lot of units that don't share upgrades. The most Cooper could do is an armor upgrade, but then with so much damage sourced from spells, Coil Nova, even armor upgrade seems like not something you want to afford right now. Rather get that heal scroll that he has. Invulnerability potion. Nice coil steal. Wow. Wait a second. That was... He just got Envision and immediately made that choice. Little bit of experience stolen. Nice dust as well. Good spider senses by XlorD. Acolyte still in position. We have the Destroyer upgrade coming now. We've got Banshee Adept training for anti-magic shell, which will help reduce damage from walkers and War Stomp. Alright, we have the first attack upgrade coming for Headhunters. We watched an Orc versus Undead game yesterday on stream, where there was a large waiting game. That's kind of the way this map plays out sometimes, especially when the creeps are gone. Creep pool by XlorD. This is just an option. He doesn't have to follow through on it, but if he has web, he could take that Drake down pretty easily, but Cooper is not going to let him have it. Immediately Focus Fire on the Fiend. Gonna go focus it. War Stomp on the single Fiend and the Death Knight. Dust of Appearance. Fiend goes down. Coil Nova on the Raider, but he doesn't take that much damage thanks to Spirit Link. Raider finally goes down. First skeleton is spawned. Another War Stomp. Fiend goes down. He goes for the Dark Ranger. Hex on the Death Knight. And a critical strike. He kills the Dark Ranger. This is how Orc wins look like. War Stomp. Hex on the Death Knight. GG. He doesn't even wait until the Death Knight goes down. He knows the writing is on the wall. Several things went wrong here for XlorD. Most of all, his attack in the Orc base. His micro looked shaky. His reactions actually felt slow. And Cooper played very clean. He had his first Spirit Link in that fight. Perhaps earlier than some other Orcs. Did XlorD know about these timings? Because Spirit Walkers means you need... Normally, you need destroyers to remove Link and to make sure that your focus fire is effective. He didn't have that. He was fighting with one Banshee into one Walker. Not to the advantage, perhaps, of XlorD. The positioning was also not ideal. XlorD was attacking buildings and got flanked by a speed scroll. That's one thing Cooper did very well. He always engaged with speed scroll and immediately went for priority targets. Either on the statues, which weren't controlled that well. They were a little bit too close to Cooper's flank. And in the second fight, the one right here, immediately for the Fiend. With War Stomps to disable coils. And when it rains, it pours. The first Fiends started dropping like flies. And after that, XlorD didn't have enough body to his army anymore. We had the really good item, the Ogre Lord, that he coil novad, but he didn't get all of the experience for it. And XlorD was forced to TP several times this game. The money losses of that kind of cut into his army. XlorD is a brainy player. But if you look at cruel effectiveness, Happy still outstrips him a bit. I want to give you an example of what XlorD was doing. He goes to 50 food. And he waits. And he upgrades Destroyer upgrade. And he upgrades the Banshee upgrade at 50 food. Even though he was a little behind. There are two conditions where Happy goes over 50 food. Because he is ahead to finish the game. Or because he is behind. So he doesn't lose the game. In other words, Happy always goes over 50 against Orc. With 2 food, with 1 food, with 3 food, with 5, he goes over. And he's ready to fight. XlorD was making these long-term investments here. Also having the Acolyte ready to expand. Standing on his expansion, but not having one yet. Instead of standing in his base. Starting the Red Drake, but not pushing over 50. Overall, Cooper was decisive. He didn't allow XlorD to get away with such delays, with such value adds, and had the right idea, and finished him off. Cooper played very clean, and XlorD is gonna have to ramp it up if he wants to have a chance to win here. XlorD 0, Cooper 1. Game number 2. We have an Altar Crypt opening and a Ziggurat. This is going to be a Crypt Lord game. And the funny thing is, I have the stream delay, so I see this now. But 3 minutes ago, we didn't know any of this yet. And Bambi on Fire, now in chat, said, Crypt Lord now? Which is funny because whether XlorD won or lost against me in the previous season tournament, it was Death Knight every time. But now, he is indeed switching to Crypt Lord. And it'll be very interesting to see how XlorD's Crypt Lord matches up against Cooper's Blade Master. I'll be very surprised. I'm gonna wear an orange hat on King's Day if this is not Crypt Lord. There we go. Warrior hero, adept at summoning insect minions and crushing enemies. Can learn Impale, Spiked Carapace, Carrion Beetles, and Locust Swarm. Crypt Lord with ghouls is 99 out of 100 times a sign that the undead will be expanding. And traditionally, Blade Master has a little bit of a worse win rate against Crypt Lord. But this is the Blade Master King in Europe, the Russian Orc Cooper. He has been practicing Blade Master non-stop. And it was very nice to see, actually, that Cooper, who was not even in the running for Season 3 finals, made it so comfortably to the Season 2. He was not even in the running for Season 2, but suddenly broke through for the Season 3. His level has been going up a lot, and it's nice to see an Orc represented in this tournament with Blade Master. Pulls the Ogre Warrior. We have, surprisingly, Cooper in a fashion that I find typical for most Russian players. Russian players are very strong-minded, and of course this is an overgeneralization, but overall I think there are some cultural roots for this. Russian players are strong-minded, but they're also a little bit more rigid in their play. You see, Happy is one of the most rigid players, but he's also now one of the best. But before it was a weakness, right? Cooper has not adapted to scouting. He doesn't make the extra peon that there is space for now in the new patch, and he doesn't scout for it. But he has built the strength of his Blade Master on not being able to scout. In the previous patch, you couldn't really do so. So I guess he really doesn't feel like it's necessary. Though it would seem nice to know whether your opponent is going for XlorD Expand or not. But nope, he just plays on as he has. So upon seeing that it was XlorD Expand, note how Cooper did not immediately go for the expansion. He knows running into a wall of 12 units has low expected value. Doesn't usually end up that well. He sends the Grunt to the Acolyte and to the Rubian. Kills summons, doesn't focus ghouls because he knows they have more life. They tend to go home before they die anyway. And the Grunt is chasing the Acolyte, but the Blade Master Mirror Image did not lock it in. There's Impale now. This should be an easy surround for XlorD if he chooses to go for it. Uh-oh. Okay, he gets the surround. Blade could try to free him, but that's going to cost him all of his mana. And he doesn't succeed. He does not succeed in doing so. Grunt now goes away. He has Speed Scroll. There's another Impale in 3 seconds. He actually busts him out of jail without any tattoos on his body. The Grunt Speed Scrolls away. For what it's worth, it survives. The ghouls, that's XlorD. That's so typical. His micro quality going for a little cancel. XlorD's goldmine was perhaps delayed by a bit, 10 seconds or so. But the order with which XlorD chose to make his buildings, the Nerubian and the Necropolis, meant that he already budgeted for a later gold mine. It's not a big deal. Good scouting here by Cooper. Grunt has to be careful. Another cancel on the healing self. What is Cooper's follow-up? Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter is late. He made it when he already had 700 gold. That means it's half a minute late. Cooper not looking as clean as he did last game. More comfortable, perhaps, going up against Death Knight than XlorD. Happy's XlorD's expansion is finishing up. We finally get to see XlorD's XlorD play against Orc ever since he played it with 200 ping. This is the first time we see it in a tournament format, as far as I know. Now starting solo ghoul creeping. Is 4 ghouls enough? Should be if microed well. Go for the trappers first. Retarget the low ghoul. And he does do so. That's going to give XlorD level 2.7. He also got boots of speed on XlorD, which makes it a lot more nimble. Once again goes for the Forest Troll High Priest. Ghouls finish off the camp. Together with the Priest 4. It's going to be level 2.9, I think. We now have 9 Acolytes mining, with the 10th coming up. Clarity on the Blade Master. We have a Spirit Lodge and a Bestiary. Interesting. The North American top Orc player, Hitman, likes to go for Walkers and Tier 3. Fly 100% from China likes to go for Wind Riders and Shamans. And pressure play on Tier 2 with a slow Tier 3. Cooper went for a quick Tier 3. A Shaman, and is it going to be Raider or Wind Rider? Most likely one Wind Rider to abuse the fact that there are no Fiends with web yet. There could be an Impale still! He didn't get it, I think. I believe it was the Flying Shadowhunter Chakra that actually got this last hit. Impale is changed. Like the old Impale? I think that's a dead XlorD. Wow. My god. The old Impale, all damage would be disjointed. The new Impale, ranged attacks still land. But there is no ranged attack except Shadowhunter. So the fact that XlorD didn't get the XP, I think it proves that the Shadowhunter was actually the last hit. Wow. And the XlorD lost by XlorD. He's not rebuying it from Tavern. According to Infi, the Chinese human player that's been playing a lot of random, he never, like I never see him buy the XlorD from Altar. He always Tavern rebuys because he wants to keep applying pressure. Funny fact, if you attack on something here, past here, the creeps gain solidarity with this camp. Even if you go for like a very far away camp, so long as you are attacking a creep, they know, and their autocast is aggressive to you. Only their autocast of some spells, namely Abolish and Slow, but not the Boulder. It's very strange. When you walk past here, on attacking the camp, you will get a Slow, but you won't get a Boulder. Who can explain that? So we have a second Wind Rider coming out, no Tauren Chieftain yet, and we have a large gold getting pulled up by Cooper. That should mean Tiny Great Hall, that he's looking to defend with the Wind Riders and the Shamans apparently. I think very soon we will see that Tiny Great Hall. For now, Shaman upgrade. Are we gonna see Envenomed Spears as well? Anyway, XlorD is back. He's gonna pull the creeps with the Ghoul, which means besides Inner Fire and Heal, none of these will cast spells. We have a Shade coming out. Does that mean Boneyard? 4 Ziggurats here to protect the gold mine. No one can access it. We have 1 Slaughterhouse coming. We have... What? Unholy Armor? Okay. Wow. So he's going Abominations. Ghouls and Abominations. Does he know about the Wind Riders? He should. We have Tiny Great Hole getting blocked by the sheep. Meh. He actually got blocked by the sheep. And now he's getting blocked by his own peons. Oh, Cooper. Ach, jong. That armor upgrade, I mean, it could be for ghouls. He has double crypt. Actually, I think it's just for ghouls. It should be... I wonder if he's gonna put Boneyard. Ghouls, Froststorm. Yeah, we get the Frenzy. He's actually prioritizing mass ghouls.
Forces are under attack.
Alright. We have Bloodlust coming out. We have a Goblin Shredder, so Cooper is preparing for the late game. Burrow coming out here. The gold difference so far is 2,400. That's 4 minutes. A 4-minute disparity between the gold mine timings. 2,400 gold. Who gets the last hit here? Not the blade. Nothing goes to the blade. You get nothing. You lose. Goodbye, sir. We have a Shade. We have an Impale. We have an Nerubian from the Black Citadel. Impale. He's still 2.2 coils away from death. So he survives. Invulnerability comes out. We have Ankh of Reincarnation. Very useful. Another Wind Rider. He's serious about this then. What other upgrades do we have coming out here? Destroyers, Gargoyles. We have 1 Fiend and 2 Gargs. Interesting. The Fiend that XlorD knew got attacked by the Blade Master just now will prove
Player's forces are under attack.
to Cooper that it's going to be Fiends with Web to counter the Wind Riders. The Gargs are gonna be more unexpected. We have Envenomed Spears coming out. If you can get 6 Gargoyles with Frost Nova from a Lich, which he now has, you can wreck these Wind Riders. Venom Spear and Bloodlust notwithstanding. Big ghoul attack here, 1-1 upgrades. 1 peon down, 2 peon down. Burrow is down. And the Gargs have shown themselves already. It will not be a surprise. Taking 1 ghoul out of the group to finish the last peons. There's the 3rd peon. That's a Cloak of Flames Bloodlusted Blade Master. Takes an Impale, takes a Coil Nova. Destroyer getting attacked. He did not remove Bloodlust yet from the Blade Master. These ghouls are big threats on the Shadow Hunter. Frost Nova. Shadow Hunter has to run. The ghoul's still on the Great Hall. He's finishing the Great Hall. Lost his XlorD early. Still has an attack here that looks like it might just be too much for Cooper to handle. Who made a lot of late game investments like Bloodlust, but doesn't have that big of an army. That's the gold difference that XlorD is leveraging. 2,400 gold difference. Wind Rider comes in against guards once again. That's Lightning Orb Venom. That Garg went down pretty fast. You need critical numbers. But the Great Hall is down. Everything is now up to whether Cooper can do critical damage on heroes. But there's an Ankh of Reincarnation. There's TP. There are coils. XlorD has fallen down to 50 food. That seems like a dream. This is a triple crypt setup. And he's now getting web. He didn't really like how his Gargs did. One shot by Lightning Orb, Bloodlusted Blade with Envenomed Spears, Wind Riders. But the dirty deed is done. XlorD has taken down the Great Hall with his 1-1 ghoul timing attack. He has sent back his ghouls. They're getting healed with Blight and with the statue. Going for a small camp that can buff one of his heroes with the permanent item Circlet of Nobility. That's always nice. Good for the Lich as well. Having a little bit of bonus health and armor can be a nice buffer to getting critted from here to Argentina by the Blade Master while the Death Knight is hexed. Another tiny Great Hall by Cooper. I have been in this situation before. It is not over just because your Great Hall dies. That Great Hall death, that kill, comes with a penalty of ghoul loss. If Shade blocks the Great Hall, that could give a little bit of extra economic advantage. The real boon here for Cooper is that he has had that Shredder all along. That means that out of the 7 peons he had on lumber, he was able to use 5 to expand. So he had 2 left. Maybe he remade a few. And now he's still got 4 to expand with. Just make 1 more, back to 50 and back to mining. However, still no fortified defenses. What an oversight. No, it's not an oversight. He doesn't have War Mill. Oh, playing without War Mill and fortified is very cheeky. A big weakness that XlorD happily makes use of. Helm of Valor now for Shadow Hunter. The Lich could get focused. He gets hexed. No frost armor on him yet. Coil very early because it's just scary. There could be critical strikes. Lich needs a frost armor. Does he have it? Yeah. Meanwhile, ghouls again. Nice StarCraft play by XlorD, splitting off his ghouls. Cooper up to the task though, sends Wind Riders after the ghouls. Meanwhile, Death Knight is still getting focused. 1 ghoul is down. 2nd ghoul is going to be falling. Maybe 3rd and 4th as well. I think this was 6 ghouls. 2 have died, but all the peons have been killed. Again, no mining. We have a Bat Rider coming. Oh, he made the Bat Rider because of the Garg play. It is no longer useful, mate. It's Fiends now. And XlorD's army is bigger than it looks. He's got 80 food, but it's not all here. Death Knight has Ankh of Reincarnation. It's going to get focused. Very obvious focus. Death Knight was in front. He's going to lose the Death Knight with 80% of his mana. I think you maintain that when you come back. Yeah, still have the mana. Comes back with 500 life. Coiled again. We have Bat Rider getting webbed. We have all the Wind Riders dying to Fiend and Destroyer Focus Fire. Shaman's dropping low. Lich still alive. G. We have a 1-1. We're going to the 3rd map. XlorD loses his Crypt Lord level 2 after failing the steal. But his opening and Cooper's inability to inflict any kind of economic damage to XlorD's expansion, that is to say, 0 Haunted Goldmine cancels, 0 Acolyte kills, and the very gradual counter expansion with a pretty cool army of Wind Rider Bloodlust, it was not enough. The economic advantage and the smart tech switches by XlorD saw him through. And a very early timing attack with ghouls, one of the cheapest units, that were very effective against Cooper's high-tech army, because his Shadow Hunter and Blade Master took all the damage. There was no other tanks on the ground. No lightning shields were used against the ghouls at all, as far as I know.
Friend.
Kind of understandable. After all, there was a destroyer there to remove any and all spells that Cooper might want to cast. And lightning shield costs more than Bloodlust. Remo, what are you doing? Aren't you casting? I guess happy you won already against 1. I'm guessing 2-0. Spiked barricades would have been quite useful. GMRO Rosario, that's true. Would be quite useful against ghouls. But it is a slow burn of damage. We are going to the third map on Turtle Rock of XlorD versus Cooper. It's 1-1. XlorD won for XlorD. Death Knight lost. Turtle Rock is a Death Knight map. And in fact, if Blade and Farseer are both viable against Undead, I would say this is a Farseer map. Early game is really good for Blade, but late game, especially mid game, it's a little bit less good. The turtles all have damage return spikes. And that makes Blades and Grunts continually take damage and require healing. Game has started. Remember everyone, you see this here, already over $100 was donated since the tournament started today, just an hour ago. The prize pool for this tournament is maximum $2,000. Everything over the $2,000 on the Matcherino link that you can find by typing ! prize pool, everything over 2,000 goes into Season 4 tournament. $4,000 would mean that the Season 4 tournament prize pool that W3 Champions team envisions is fully funded, 4K. If you like to do some support for the Warcraft 3 esports, this is something that you could consider doing. If it goes to 4,500, they're also going to throw in a 2v2 tournament with apparently $500 prize money. We have game number 3 started now between XlorD and Cooper, and it's on Turtle Rock, back in the tournament map pool. I think Turtle Rock is a favorite for many. Even for me, Turtle Rock is a bit like the Backstreet Boys. When it came out, it was cringe, but due to mere exposure and because everybody knows them now and because it becomes nostalgic and because it represents your childhood, they're pretty cool now. I want it that way. With watch rewards, with runes of healing, all the broken stuff about Turtle Rock that I used to hate. You've just become used to it, and now it's a golden oldie. There's a permanent watch reward here that cannot be dispelled or killed. Whoever kills the Ogre Mage and picks up the item gets the watch reward for permanent vision at the crucial intersection of the map and at the Goblin Shop. There's a rune of healing here that heals an uncapped amount of units that belong to you with more than a heal scroll's worth of healing. So no matter how hurt you get, this camp is kind of high risk, high reward, but not as high risk as some of the red spots on any maps, and it immediately heals you when it finishes. Oh my god, it's XlorD again! So in the dichotomy between this is a Death Knight map, but my only win so far came from XlorD, XlorD chose between the lesser evil and decided to go with the winning strat on the wrong map. This is not an easy map to do a XlorD expansion on. However, he is gonna live that Beetle thug life anyway. I think for next series, I can do a little bit of a zoom out, but apparently you cannot do this when you're in-game as an observer. You need to pre-prep it in a custom game. I think we can zoom out a little before next game. Is there gonna be an Acolyte steal? No, not this time. And XlorD with the Acolyte sees, hey, your blade is completely unconcerned with what I am doing. And I am just going to go for the turtle camp now, get level 2 basically for free without any molestation. And I feel like this is a really big mistake by Cooper. Cooper's greatest adversary on a national level is of course Happy. Both of them are from Russia. So it makes sense that Cooper has spawned as an avatar of vengeance against Happy's style. That he would have as his main focus Death Knight style, and I think that's what he's strongest against. But it's typical with new blood like this, and Cooper has been playing for a long time, but new blood in the pro scene, they typically stick with what they're good at. They don't respond as much to what an opponent is doing, and XlorD is a little bit more of a complete player already. Not being here for a very tough camp has given Cooper an excellent set of items, and maybe that's enough. Maybe he can cancel this Nerubian, 85% done, or maybe there will be an Impale on all three. That delays it just a bit too much. But there's a new repair rate for Nerubian. And he's not going to repair it at all. Nerubian goes down. I should say Ziggurat goes down. There is a cloak, though, on XlorD. That's very helpful and secures a kill here. Man, I gotta say, XlorD got the two best items you would want. The cloak, the best. Mana pot, the best. So that is a dead Ziggurat with some excellent blade items. He comes back with Dust of Appearance, and XlorD should know this.
Greetings, friend.
The blade now comes back in. I'm not gonna say it's definitely a mistake that Cooper wasn't here to steal creeps. That would mean he's level 2 with less good items. No claws of attack. This is actually a really cool way to play against XlorD Expand as well. But the grunt surround! Completely unnecessary, by the way, to get his grunt surrounded. Considering it could be another impale mana pot. Bang! Impale. It was not necessary. He already cancelled the gold mine with blade only. No, I can't believe that the grunt would get away again. Yeah, he doesn't want that to happen. Oh! Kills the grunt. Surrounds. Uses cloak. Blade has dust though. That's... Oh my god, that's 2 grunts. Meine Liebe. There is another impale that he could do, or he could go with the block. I think he needs to save impale to save himself against the blade master. Impale, my dude. Ah! Oh! There's no windwalk. He needs to cancel the solve. No, there's a dust. Wait. There is no more dust. Oh, XlorD. There is no more dust. Oh, nice crit. Last hit on the goal. Meanwhile, Beetle scouting for the tech. This time, not fly 100% style with Wyverns and Shamans. But going for the Hitman style with Walkers in tier 3. I think this one is better. I think this is better. Wyverns, yeah. Attack on the totem. It's a well-positioned totem with double burrow to defend against beetles. Blade. No, my god, Cooper, that's so risky. He tried to go for the cancel against Nerubian without Windwalk mana. How can you even consider that? There has to be some other way. He already has 2 cancels on the gold mine. You don't really need more. This is enough to stay on par with the undead player. Okay. Finally, the tech to tier 2 for XlorD is available. He's got 5 cult members waiting already on the spawning of this gold mine. Cloak of Shadows on Shadowhunter. XlorD going for the Ogre Mage steal. He has Town Portal that makes this a little bit less risky, but make no mistake, this is still risky. If there was a scouting ninja here, the Samurai, the Blade, and Hex out of the Fog of War, that's still a dead XlorD. So this is a high risk play. It kind of tells you where XlorD is at with his mentality regarding his perception of how well he's doing this game. Do you do this against a weaker player when you are leading? No. You do this when you have information. Granted, I think he probably had information, right? Like he knows what Undead wants to be doing at this time, what Orc wants to be doing at this time. He had Beetle Scout. Still, a little bit risky, but understandable that Orc wants to clear an expansion. And these Beetles are doing a lot. He killed a Grunt, he has cancelled healing salves, and he has delayed the creeping of this base. I think XlorD is in a phenomenal position. He's been mining for almost a minute now. And there is enough money for a tiny... Oh my god, he's going Wyverns again. You know, now that I talk about it, I remember... Was it Cooper? I think it was Cooper. Yeah. Cooper was the one that beat Foggy on one map or a best of 3. Maybe a few months back. With Walkers and Wyverns on Echo Isles. And I thought that's such a weird combination. Walkers and Wyverns. Wait, where are the peons going? Don't tell me he's gonna tiny Great Hall on the red spot before even finishing creeping it. He is. He is gonna do that with 4 units. It's just... He's gonna hex the Ogre Mage. He's gonna focus the Ogre Lord. And he's gonna expand before he even finishes the camp. Hoppa! Wow. If XlorD showed up now, it's over. But I think this is a quick timing. Huh? If you remember last game, I will say XlorD had a decent lead, but it wasn't an insurmountable lead. And that was after 0 Acolyte kills, 0 gold mine delay. Now, Cryptlord is higher level, which is nice for XlorD, but Expand was slower. There is a mining of 1400 by the time Cooper begins. Before it was 2400. 2400 represents 4 minutes. 1400 is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So there's a much smaller disparity between their mining. That means that if XlorD goes for a similar build, and it does look like he is, it's not going to hit as hard as early. Cooper's already 7 foot ahead as well, and very smart expansion location. XlorD scouts for this, does not scout for the corner. He was also ready to go attack and cancel with his summons and so on. I think he's gonna drop Gloves of Haste if he needs to pick up the item from this gargantuan sea turtle. Death Knight's gonna be coming out soon. Oh, wow. XlorD already moved his ghouls away. And they're gonna be safe. Slaughterhouse cancel is imminent. Nice cancel. It was 90% done. That's a big loss for XlorD. Immediately recreates it on his expansion that has double Spirit Tower. Fiend gets attacked and coiled. We have attack upgrade for Fiends coming out now. 2 attack in fact. Not going with the Ghoul timing attack. It seems like that's something he only does when he's ahead economically enough. When he had an uncontested expansion, he's like, okay, I'm gonna make sure you never expand. And he's playing more for the late game.
The town is under siege.
When it is a slower game where he doesn't get to finish early. Cooper biting off whatever damage he can. Oh, there's an impale possibility on this TC. With the surround attempt. If he gets this beetle to the left, he may be able to kill this TC. Nice surround. Yeah, I think that's a dead TC. There will be another War Stomp. There is a Wind Rider helping out. Oh, he stopped attacking. He added it to his control group, Control 1, with the rest of his army and actually stopped attacking. There was actually a good chance he could get away if he consumed the mana pot and did another stomp. I think he kills the beetle, walks away and survives. Funny fact, TC costs almost as much gold as a mana pot. No. TC is 170, mana pot's 125, and you give XP. So definitely preferable to get away and survive. Bit of a mistake by Cooper. One Wyvern now has gone down to web though. That's Wyverns are also called Tomes of Flying Experience sometimes. The smart Walker to protect against beetles. Even before getting the beetle harass, he already prepared for it. Now here's a big difference though with Cooper. No War Mail, just like last game, no fortified defenses, but also no Shredder because this map doesn't have Shredders. And not that many peon reproduction.
A player's forces
Starts
are
with
under
7,
attack.
took 5 to mine, now has 4, means he made 2, and he made 2 here. Total 6 on lumber. Now we go with the War Mail. We have Adept Walkers, 3 in total. Is he gonna go with the Master Training? Not yet. And Venom Spears coming. Both Watcher Wards by XlorD. Sees the Blade coming in. Doesn't have the Ogre Lord yet. Cryptlord level 5, but he cannot afford to separate it away from the army because he knows Cooper's coming in. Impale on the Blade Master, picks up the items, doesn't even have time to coil. Gets a bad item, but at least he made sure that Orc does not get it. XlorD is playing an economic game, extremely unlike Happy. Happy generally doesn't play like this. He goes over 50 fast, makes sure he can win fights at every point in the game. XlorD, a bit more dodgy. Runs away, stays on 50, expands, plays Cryptlord, and saves up on 50 again. 2-0 attack upgrades. Now working on Carapace. And he's making Fiends and Gargs. Did XlorD save up too much? Is he skirting danger overly much? There's a few creep camps left on the map. Turtle 7 here, Troll 6. And it looks like because XlorD's economic game is developing like this, he's not able to contest for any of them. So now the big question is, will Orc late game air
Greetings, friend.
be good enough? Will Wind Riders be able to win out against Fiends?
A player's forces are
Venom
under
and
attack.
Stomp and Link really helps Wind Riders. But it still happens that they get webbed, so they cannot focus fire the same thing that they are meant to do. So let's see how they do. They are 0-0 in upgrades. He's getting steel ranged weapons and power creeping the TC to level 3. Rune Bracers, fantastic item. Not a true shot though. And XlorD goes for the other level 7, realizing his own side of the map is forfeit, getting the final highest value camp on the map, the Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Best item here, I feel like, would be Pendant of Energy, but I don't think XlorD would look askance at a parry up of Fatality, which will give a little bit of buffer health to his heroes that are fairly lowly developed. What's it gonna be? Another expansion by XlorD in the corner of the map. Blade scouts the main, sees a reproduction of a crypt, goes for the Acolytes. Tanks with the Blade. All the towers are attacking the Blade. Is he gonna refocus on the Wyverns? 2 Acolytes down already, goes for the Nerubian. Immediate TP. There could be a Coil Nova on this Wyvern. Doesn't. 2 Acolytes down, trading TPs. XlorD already finished the creep camp and he got Claws of Attack +9. Nice. Expansion coming along. We have Fiends, we have a Shade, we have Impale level 3, ladies and gents. Impale level 3 is insane. It has a very large stun time, very longly, bigly, hugely stun duration on heroes. First Tauren comes out. We have Master Training Walkers with 1 Tauren, with Pulverize, and a Kodo without the War Drums upgrade because he doesn't have enough lumber. We have 1 attack upgrade Wyverns, soon to be 1-1, against Fiends with 2-1, soon to be 2-2. 74 food, Fiends and statues, no Destroyers and no Banshees yet. And XlorD's third base has completed. Orb of Corruption against Orb of Lightning. Lightning immediately procs, gets the statue, and kills it off. The Impale lasted very long. He's got 3 more where that came from. Mana pots on the Cryptlord, cleverly. Do we have any mana pots for Cooper? We have a Double Claw, Slipper, Lightning Orb, Blade. Mana pots on the Shadow. No mana pots on the TC. Not yet. Burrowed Beetle, Watch Reward, Burrowed Beetle, Watch Reward. XlorD has good information of the map. Shade over here. Cooper becomes the wiser of the expansion. Wyverns coming in, killing Acolytes so fast. Thank you, dude.
A town is under
As
siege.
81 food has been breached by Cooper. He goes straight for the gold mine. Meanwhile, attack on his burrows. I can't believe he still has heavy armor burrows. I think the TP is going to be here. Oh, it's right on top. Big Impale. Web on all the Wyverns, but they are attacking. War Stomp on the Cryptlord. We have Cooper 76 food. XlorD 71, 69. He's dropping fast. Destroyer getting focused. Goes away. And survives for now. 1 Wyvern goes down. 2nd Wyvern goes down. Good focus fire by the Lich and the Fiends on the Wind Rider. The Torrent is hitting single Fiends. It's a lot of damage. Roar now for XlorD. Nice disenchant by Cooper. Immediately. So many Wyverns have gone down. My god. He had 7, now he has 1. Time to make a new army. Don't tell me he's gonna reproduce Wyverns. He is. Highly mobile flying creature. Gets webbed, by the way. Excellent at scouting. Don't need scouting. Can learn Envenomed Spears. Yeah, that's all you got. You got Envenomed Spears. You're not using your mobility or the scouting. Man, who uses Wyverns for scouting? Amazing. But, I mean, that's what Wyverns are good for. They're fast, but they get webbed. So, yeah. 70 food for XlorD. He's making fiends and statues, goes for another attack, and is just relentlessly reproducing this Acolyte here. Goes for the small cap, separates his Cryptlord away. Invul. Petty up to Fatality on the Death Knight. And he finds a Circlet. Wait, what did he find here? I think he found a Circlet, yeah. Did he put the other Circlet on the Cryptlord? Maybe he didn't have Circlet this game. Oh yeah, that was on Last Refuge. Still heavy armor burrows. Still not getting fortified defenses. Fiend gets found. Burrowed. Is there dust? There is. 228 crit. Blade almost level 5. Oh, he thinks the way the Fiend was moving, XlorD saw he got spotted by the Watcher Ward, so he moved the Fiend bottom right. So he's pretending that he actually is bottom right, which made Cooper move bottom right, which made XlorD be able to attack the burrows, kill all the peons with the Impale Nova, and kill double burrow while killing all the peons, and he's gonna TP out by the time that Cooper comes in. Just that little Fiend movement gave him all this. No, he's gonna fight. By fighting, XlorD actually achieves to delay the reconstruction of this expansion's economy. The longer he fights, the more delayed are burrows and peons. Cooper did start making those peons, and he is not supply blocked yet. But he will be after this peon, and 2 peons survived here, so it's not too bad. Cooper mining with 4, and has started another burrow here. But mate, buddy, dude, do you think maybe you can start fortified? You've got the resources, 75, 175. How are the upgrades coming along? 0, 1 on Torrents, and 1, 1 on Wind Riders.
A town is under siege.
Cooper goes for the Acolyte once again, gets level 3. That's critical strike. Level 3. Together with War Drums, we could be seeing crits of 350 damage. He does not have War Drums upgrade. Cooper missing out on several high value additions to the strength of his army. No War Drums. That's 10% damage on everything. However, XlorD is bleeding units in all of these engagements. You know? He's been forcing this expansion out, but Cooper, all the way across the map, Cooper has not let it really start mining. XlorD did get his 2-2 upgrades before, but now that the mains are running out, XlorD never really materialized with that 90 to 100 foot army that you may expect from a 3-base undead, because he's never really been a 3-base undead. He's sending his 5 acolytes to the gold mine. He didn't want to reproduce again. That's going to be a 2-base mining, but so is Cooper. So even though XlorD's been working on that base for 3 to 5 minutes, no, let's say 5 minutes at least, they're starting to mine at the same time. Impale. Nova. Not gonna waste a Nova on this. Nice attack once again by XlorD. And does he have a TP? He does. It's on the Cryptlord. He killed all the peons. Time to get out. There's a coil on the Fiend, but I think it's gonna die. And it does. War Stomp was already level 2, now Endurance level 2. That's 20% bonus movement speed and 10% bonus attack speed. Still no Kodo upgrade. He's completely forgotten about it, and no fortified defenses still on burrows. Though it's less important now than it has been. The damage has already been done.
A player's forces
After
are under
all,
attack.
there are no burrows on expansions. Now these middle bases, they have a lot of gold, guys. 15,000 gold is more than the average, the median in Warcraft 3. 12.5k is more common. Some bases have 10k on some maps. Amazonia is unique. Expansions have 25k, which is how you can have 1 hour games on such a small map. But 15k is above the median. That's why XlorD is still mining from it. We have an Impale on 1 Tauren against a Stomp on nothing. They won't be winning any prizes with that shameful display. Nice block on the Tauren. And if he immediately summons skeletons from it, then there can be no reincarnation by walkers. If he gives up this space, allows Cooper to encroach on it, it can be reincarnated. But Cooper's not thinking about it. He wants to make use of a good positioning. Coming in with the flank here. XlorD's army is in disarray. He's losing and bleeding units. Coil narrowly saving the destroyer. That's a fiend, a banshee, a second fiend dead. No, that's an abomination. Getting cut down like nothing. One big tub of butter walking, getting sliced by Blade Master's sword. And there's two burrowed fiends here, still checking things out. No fortified, no war drums, just checking, you know. He has dust, but he doesn't know. XlorD needs something special. Either 3/3 upgrades or possession, and he's getting both. Oh, Impale doesn't proc. Warstomp hits first. Magic Shell on the Crypt Lord. He needs a coil. This is a very chunky army by Orc. Triple Tauren. It's not easy to kill. I remember I used to think this was the baddest army around. Taurens and Wyverns both. It's certainly great for 2 attack moving noobs. Taurens always wins in attack moving noobiness. But XlorD is not an attack moving noob. He kites, he impales, he falls back. Mining is reinstated in Cooper's expansion. He's 80 food. How's that war mill coming along? Nothing. No second armor upgrade, which will be quite useful for Cooper. He goes over 80 food with 81. How did he achieve that? With this walker. Now down to 80. How did he achieve that? He did finish the walker. Did he kill a peon somewhere? I don't know. The tavern is actually purple. Funny fact is I made the players purple and green. But that didn't work out. I don't know why. And now the tavern is purple. It's quite pretty, isn't it? Magic Shell helps against Warstomp and Walker damage, but it also works against Envenom Spears. So it's quite an essential upgrade at dealing with this venom.
A player's forces are under attack.
Wow, another base by XlorD at the top. This one is already secured. We have 2 ghouls mining lumber. 3-2 upgrades finished for XlorD. Doesn't get that 3rd armor yet. He certainly leaves Cooper in the dust in terms of the high techness of his army. Better upgraded. Completely forgetting about the Kodo upgrade. That's something you look back at later and you say, ah, niet. Ah, niet. Beetle calmly surveying the area. Banshees are available to possess Taurens. There are many threats against Banshees that can stop their high mana, high risk spell. Possession costs 250 mana. It's a long channel with a subtle animation. If you get stomped, hexed, or killed, possession is ended, you still lose your mana. And they also take bonus damage while channeling. This heavy armor tower is not doing anything to save these peons. Still no fortified. Goes for the Great Hole. No TP by Cooper. Doesn't own it. Doesn't have it. Can't use it. Positioning is tough. There was only 1,000 gold left, so it's not worth reproducing. XlorD is playing a better macro game here. Invisible TC coming in. Goes with the War Stomp on everything. Hex on the Death Knight. There is no Devour. The Death Knight goes down. That's a lot of experience for Cooper. He's still 80 food. This is something you can account for. You can plan for. You can pre-devour for. He had 2 destroyers. You can spam invul on the DK, which he did have. This is a Death Knight level 4 with, from the looks of it, double coil and 1 unholy, but didn't pick Death Pact yet. And in fact, he went for Unholy Aura level 2, which was nerfed. 2.5% movement speed less. No Death Pact despite the very shocking thing that just happened to him. XlorD with 88 food, sending his lumber ghouls away, getting attacked here by Wyverns and Blades. Survive anyway. They've got one hell of a story to tell. Like, it hurts. Acolytes here under threat, but the final mining base of Cooper getting attacked. There's still no town portal on the Orc. He's killing one of the bases.
For all he knows, the only mining base after this one runs out. But keep in mind, those mid bases, they've got a lot of gold. XlorD is still mining here. He's still mining here. This is a great trade for him. He just sold Cooper a bridge over 2 mountains with no water. Cooper falling for the murkiest scheme of the Warcraft century. Gold mine down. Still has 2 more. Lol. Upgrades. 3, 2. Everything is magic shielded. No carapace coming in, but XlorD just has to prepare for the oncoming onslaught. This won't be an easy fight, no matter the economic advantage that has been built up by him. He needs to take this fully seriously, and in fact, I think he should want to fight on Blight. Death Knight in front. Oh, nice Devour on the TC. He saw it with the Shade. Impale on 2 Walkers and a Blade. War Stomp is going to be huge. War Stomp. There we go with the War Stomp. Blade attacking Fiends, 276. Another Impale on 3 Walkers or Kodo. Shadow Hunter and the Torrent. Torrents are at the back. 1 Torrent coming in here. Is there going to be a possession? Not yet. War Stomp comes out. Now will there be a possession? Some Wind Riders falling down. Cooper has 63 food. Kodo eating a Fiend. Big Impale on the Blade Master. There's Curse. Walkers are getting attacked. There's Mana on Destroyers. They're doing so much damage on Walkers. Death Knight with the invulnerability. That was the Hail Mary play intended by XlorD. That was the Hail Mary play intended by Cooper, trying to go for that Death Knight. Worked once, not this time. Wind Riders getting slain here like nothing.
Greetings, friend.
XlorD doing an amazing fight. And it looks like with his economic advantage, with that fight, with the Crypt Lord level 6, now having Locust Swarm, if he picks it, he could go for 1 level spike barricades. Spiked carapace. He TP's in. No mana pot yet. With the invul, with the heal scroll. Right on top! Impale on the both heroes that do the most damage. DK running away for his life. Invul, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. No possession at all, just using them for curse and damage. War Stomp, not on the Crypt Lord, not on the Death Knight. There is a heal scroll on the Death Knight. Is he gonna use it? Now would be a great time. He doesn't use it yet. There's so much going on in fights like this. Never easy for either player. 1 Torrent goes down, but there are no more Walkers to revive them. Crypt Lord chasing the Shadow Hunter. Cooper down to 3 heroes with less than half life, trying to go for the Death Knight. Always the final play. Greater Healing Potion on the TC. Blade Master with the 236 crits. There's no Kodo anymore. TC goes down. Looks like XlorD has done it. Happy already made it to the winner bracket semis. In this part of the grid with a 2-0 long time ago. XlorD slowly joins him. 2-1 over Cooper. Twice with Crypt Lord, even on a map like Turtle Rock, beating Cooper over the head with a wet and slimy fish and superior experience. Lots of bases, good macro play. 2-1 over Cooper in what I think is XlorD's weakest matchup. Traditionally, it always has been. In fact, in the past, XlorD switched to human before it was cool to switch race, just to go up against Orc for his German leagues that he played in, and internationally. These days, XlorD sticks with Undead in all matchups. Perhaps doesn't have time to add human to his repertoire, perhaps likes the current state of the game better for Undead against Orc. I certainly think it's the most balanced it has ever been, Orc Undead. And XlorD wins here with Crypt Lord. Cooper needs to learn more about Blade versus Crypt Lord, I think. But XlorD is a phenomenal opponent. He wins here. That leaves XlorD going up against Happy later today. First, we're going to see the second part of winner bracket round 1. Todd versus Lil DC and Hawk versus Please. And after that, we're going to see all the winners against each other in the semis. And 2 rounds of loser bracket. Great game by XlorD. He takes the 2-1. We get ready here for the next match, which is Please versus Hawk. I have to wait to update the title until I'm allowed to, otherwise I ruin the delay. XlorD won against Happy won against Juan. Mirrored heroes by both going for DK Lich Dark Ranger.